We are going to walk through more notes and examples on writing parallel and perpendicular equations. So given a linear equation and a certain point, sometimes that point is going to be an x1, y1. Sometimes that point will be a y-intercept or a b-value, so 0, comma, a number. We are going to create another equation that passes through that given point and is either parallel or perpendicular to the given line. So we'll have to pay attention to what the question is asking for. So just a reminder that parallel lines have the same slopes. Parallel lines have same slopes. Perpendicular lines have opposite. This is our first rule, which means one is a positive slope, the other one has to be a negative slope so that they intersect. They're going opposite directions. One's going up, one's going down. And reciprocals means that we have to flip our fraction. So whatever's in the numerator goes to the denominator, whatever's in the denominator goes to the numerator. So question 1 says to write the equation of the line that passes through this x1, y1 point. That's a -2, 7, and it is parallel to y equals 4x plus 1. Now the only reason I need this equation, y equals -4x plus 1, is to determine what my slope is. Okay, so the slope of this line is -4. So I highlighted my slope, which is -4. And I want to write an equation of a line parallel to that, which means it has the same exact slope. So my new slope of my new line is also going to be -4. So if I have my point and I have a slope, I need to write this in point-slope form. So you might want to have your notes out in front of you that has slope-intercept form, point-slope form, and standard form. And let's write it out. So y minus y1. y1 in this case happens to be 7 equals m, my slope, which is -4, times x minus my x1, which is a -2. But we know that two negatives make a positive. So change it to x plus 2. Now I could convert this to slope-intercept form, but I'm going to let you leave your answer like this, in point-slope form. Question 2. Again, it says write an equation of a line that passes through this point, 0, -1, and it's parallel to this given line. Now, first, I'm going to look at my point, and I know that this is a y-intercept, or this is my b value. Okay, so I am probably going to choose slope-intercept form. But if I'm looking at the equation that I highlighted, that is not in slope-intercept form. Y is not solved for or isolated. That looks like standard form, which we covered in lesson 12.3. We did a note sheet on it as well, and we worked in the book. So this currently is ax plus by equals c. So my A here is just 1, B is -3, C is 9. But we need to convert this to slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, so that I know what my m or my slope is. So we are going to, in this question, in order to convert it to slope-intercept form, that means solve for y. So what I need to do first is to get that -3y alone. So I want to subtract this 1x, or x, from both sides, so that this -3y is by itself. So subtract 1x, subtract 1x. These cancel. We're left with -3y equals, my mx comes first, then plus b. So -3y equals -1x plus 9. Still, that's not in slope-intercept form, because if I'm looking to my notes, this says y equals, and here in my equation I have a -3y. So in order to have y by itself, we need to divide everything by -3. So y equals 1/3 x minus 3. Two negatives make a positive. Now, this line, this new equation, is our given. So what I'm using this equation for is to determine my slope. What's the m? What's the slope? It's 1/3. Okay, so what is the m, or the slope, of my new line that is parallel to that? Parallel lines have the exact same slopes. So this would also be 1/3. So now I have my b value and I have my m value. I have my slope and my y-intercept, so I'm going to write it in slope-intercept form. Okay, so the answer is y equals m, or slope, which is 1/3, x plus b, my y-intercept, which is -1. And box this in because this is our final answer here. Okay, let's look at perpendicular now. Write an equation of the line that passes through the point 4, 3. So this is x1, y1, so I'm going to label them right away. And is perpendicular to the line y equals 2x minus 4. So what's the slope in y equals 2x minus 4? The slope is 2. Okay, so what is my new slope if I'm perpendicular? Remember, we have two words, opposite. So if this slope right here is a +2, my new slope has to be negative. Reciprocals means I flip the fraction. So I made this a fraction by dividing it by 1. All whole numbers are being divided by 1. So if I flip it, 1 is going to be in the numerator, and 2 is now going to be in the denominator. So now we can write it in point slope form. How do I know it's point slope? Because here's a point, x1, y1, and then I have my new slope of a negative 1/2. So look at your note sheet. It's y minus y1 equals m slope, so negative 1/2, parentheses x minus x1, which is 4, and that would be my final answer. Question 4, write the equation of the line that passes through this point. So I have another x1, y1, so point slope form, and it's perpendicular to the line 5x plus 3y equals negative 21. Now, when I look at this, I'm going to say, ooh, I can't tell what my slope is because it's not y equals mx plus b. I don't know what my m is, my slope is. So I need to solve for y. I need to isolate y. So we want to move or subtract this 5x from both sides. So 3y equals negative 5x comes first, minus 21. Is y alone yet? If I highlight y, there's a 3 out in front of it, and they're smushed together. They're really close together, which means they're being multiplied. So the opposite of multiply is to divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. Y equals negative 5 over 3x minus 7. You can type negative 5 divided by 3 on your calculator. You can type in negative 21 divided by 3 on your calculator, whatever works for you. We're not done with the question yet, though. The only reason I'm looking at this y equals negative 5 over 3x minus 7 is because I need the slope. So the slope is the m in front of the x, which is negative 5/3. Well, I want my slope perpendicular to that. So my new slope perpendicular has to be opposite. So if the line given was negative, my new slope is positive. Reciprocals means 3 is going to move upstairs, 5 moves downstairs. That is what my slope would be, perpendicular to the given line. So this is our new slope that we need to use. Okay, so we're going to use this 3 over 5 and this x1, y1 point. So I have the point and I have the slope. We're going to write it in point slope form. So y minus y1, which is 1, equals m, your slope, 3 over 5. We don't use this slope because that's the one that was given. We want our new slope perpendicular times x minus x1, which is a negative 5. 2 negatives make a positive, so turn it to x plus 5. And we're done. So what I would like you to do, if you're on Zoom, I want to keep you on Zoom. Okay, if you're not on Zoom and you're watching this during second or third hour, hop on Zoom. You are going to keep practicing these questions. So 5 through 8 are all parallel, which means the exact same slope. So if this slope is 2, if this slope is negative 1/4, my new slopes are going to be the exact same. Okay, then take your points and label x1, y1, x1, y1. So you're going to write these in point slope form for questions 5 and 6. Question 7 and 8, they give you the y-intercept, which is your b value. So I can write these in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. But I do not know my slope or my slope yet because it's not in slope-intercept form. So start by solving for negative 2y. Start by solving for positive 2y. So convert 7 and 8 to slope-intercept form. Let me know if you need any help, and you're going to do this similar questions for 9 through 12, except this time we have perpendicular. Okay, so opposite reciprocals. So if this is my point x1, y1, okay, my new slope has to be perpendicular to this slope. Okay, so opposite signs, flip your fraction and keep going. You have to write the equation. So finish questions 5 through 12. Let me know if you need help.